Okay, I'm just checking the sound. It seems like I'm a little loud. I'm always a little loud, but we're just gonna tune that down a little bit. And otherwise, you just tell me in the chat if something with the sound is off, and I will of course fix it if I can. Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nissa, and today we are taking the final zoo tour here in Tzula Zoo, and it's actually a little feelings about it for me. Normally, when I take the final zoo tour, I'm like, yes, I'm done with this. I'm fine. I'm ready to move on and all of this stuff. I'm not. It's done, but I feel like there were more I wanted to do, but it's done. And there isn't really any good way to expand on it. And I did on purpose want to make it small, especially because of the fact that my computer don't always love the big zoos. And I knew because it was tropical, I would have a lot of foliage, a lot of plants. And you know, I like to layer my plants, and my computer sometimes have a little hard time with that. Yeah, I wanted to make it small, but I kind of want to continue. So yeah, I'm not ready to let it go, but I kind of have to at this point. Here we are, and I'm not sure if we actually can turn the sun a little bit so it looks better from this angle. Again, this angle is not meant to actually be somewhere where you have a good angle or anything. This is just before the entrance. I just like to actually often give it some kind of either a parking lot with a road or something like that. In this jungle, it just makes sense to have this long path to it. I know it's a long way to go, especially because you will also have to walk inside the zoo, but I kind of just wanted this. And these signs, Tzula Zoo, 100 meters, and I'm not sure there's 100, but it just fits. And I actually did them because I think it's Knuttenborg Safari Park, where when we drove there, especially as a kid, you know, everything longer than 5 minutes is a real long time. And when we drove there as a child, it took like I think if you drive a little fast, you can be there in an hour and a half or something like that. So it's took some time. So when we saw the signs counting down, here you can see 50 meters. When we saw the signs starting to count down, my brother and I were always who can count, see the sign first and these kind of things. And it was kind of a competition, but a really, really friendly one, I will say. So it's just one fun thing that I'm pretty sure that most people wouldn't care about, but for me, it's just these small things that makes the whole thing work together, and it's just a big part of the memories. It's one of my absolutely favorite zoos. They have not these small individual enclosures. They have these like one big savanna with all of the savanna animal. Not counting for the carnivores, of course, and a North American area with all of those. And this, I just love it when animals can do this. And here we are. I actually forgot to show you here. It's not big, and well, it is big, but it's not like flashy. Here it is, but I think it works really well for what it is. And again, it would be this tropical theme altogether. So this could kind of just be overgrown. I actually, if I would have changed something, I would have made some kind of vines grow up the side, maybe hanging down a little bit here, also to cover this line. That's not pretty. Yeah, I can laugh of myself and what I'm able to do. If you remember, most of these areas here, I actually just made one part and then copied it deeper and deeper. So it's just the same part out there, but you can't really see that it's the same and the same because of these tropical plants being so big. I'm not sure which way we would go, but I think we're gonna continue straight here and then take this on the way out. I think that would make the most sense because we have gift shop over there and restaurant, and you maybe want to do that a little bit later. We imagine that we come here early. Here, my little snaky thing. I really like it. I love these pieces. I don't think I'm gonna use them in a lot of zoos, but for what's it worth, they're really awesome and they can build. Like, for me, this doesn't have to be tropical. It kind of looks like a galleon figure on an old Viking ship. Could it also be? So I'm really intrigued by that. And here we have a little hint that we have some staff path down here. You know, a lot of zoos have these that is kind of hidden, but if you look well, you can actually see where they are. We have here on the left the Asian water monitor, and we're gonna go around in a minute and see it all. We can see one of them run here. It's the first monitor we got from. That's not true. We have the what's it called? The a Komodo dragon, of course, also. But it's the first of these like small monitors. Again, it's still fairly big, but it's just different, and the habitat is different. Where the Asian water monitor is more a flat living sandy deserty feel, rocky areas, where this is more water and tropical feel. So I really like this. I do also like building for the Komodo dragon, but it is definitely something that I really love. But I just like when we have these kind of similar animals that have different features. Of course, they look a little different, but you can have two very, very alike animals that just live very, very different places. And I really love that. On the right here, we have our little cohabitat. We have the okapi, the Nile Litchway, and the Red River Hawk. We will come back to that. Because we will come out again here later. I'm not sure what the protesters is about, but probably an animal went up somewhere where they can't get down. That's most likely. That happens a lot. I have an issue, especially with the elephants and the giraffe. I have a rock they can get up on, but they can't figure out how to get down. And then they don't like it and get sad, and then the protesters come. And sometimes I'm just... okay, then I go in and click and move it down again, and it's happy, and they go away. Sometimes I just don't care because it's a game. I'm well aware of the fact that it's a game. These small huts have been reused so many times in this zoo, and I really like reusing items, either like single items like a special wood type, because when you order some wood, you will always order too much. So it is very plausible that you would have some small amount over for something bigger you build, and then you will reuse it for something smaller later on. They're pretty. I really like the swimming animation. And the fact that they actually climb up of these. We have multiple small animals that just stand before it. We will have to move on because I don't have that much time. I wanted all of the animals in here to have big and roomy habitats, and that's also why the foos is nowhere to be seen. I really love this Fusa habitat. It's actually the only one where I built with this water downstairs as a barrier. Oh, we have one over here. The staff is coming out now with food, so this should come out fairly soon. I actually forgot that I did this over here. I thought it was the first time I did it with the bonobos. I just built for them. Oh, we have one up there. Just built for the bonobos, and I actually thought it was first time I made a climbing rig where the staff can walk on, but I clearly also used it here, so maybe this was the first time, but I already forgot. It just helps a lot, because I didn't want something big that ram or something here they could go down on. The Fusas can of course both use the log and the climbing rig to get down. They can. I'm not sure if they can jump actually. And this is just to encourage them to get real close up and personal with the guest. I really like it. And the rocks, I tell you, I think roughly 40% of the time I have been spent building this zoo have been only rocks, and that's why I cut it out in most of the videos, because I do believe that I cannot teach you how to do rocks. I do believe that you just have to try, then stand back, look at it, and feel, do you think it's done, or do you want to add more? I do not either use all of the smaller ones. I do honestly often just use the bigger ones. Then I use some smaller ones here as the cave to make it arch better. But most of it out here is only that big piece there, and that's also the reason I can't do that without reason is clearly also the fact that I cover most of it up again with foliage. So technically I could just have made it one place and then copy it around. I didn't want that because I didn't want it to be a little different, but depending on how much you cover up, that's the easiest way to do things. Again, the Fusa is fairly shy, so unless you're lucky to see them get fed, they will stay mostly inside the cave. Sometimes they climb a little bit, but it's not a hell of a lot. You can see here most of them already goes back, and then we have the lone one over here. On the other side, ooh, we have a little bench, so we can take a breather if we need to. On the other side here we have, and I need to, oh, not what I wanted. I thought I could do that without issues. Yes, I was remembering right. So we have the Asian small clawed otter, the Bonian orangutan, the lorgibbing, and the Simon. And the apes, I was pretty sure I wanted in here. I wanted the apes, which is funny because I think we don't have any monkeys in the zoo at all. We only have apes, which again is very cute also. But we don't have these smaller individuals, but that's also because smaller individuals get very, very lost. The small clawed otter here, it's only because of they really want to be around the water, and that's a limited area. That's the only reason they are easy to spot sometimes. But because my habitats in the zoo are so goddamn big, they could be really difficult to see. If you want some not tips, but ideas about how to make all of these climbing work, again, I do only have these pieces and trees in here as climbing, and they can climb from everything to everything if they want to climb long enough. And if you want to see how I build that, the video is of course already up. All of the speed builds are up already, and they have a playlist on their own. You can see here they can also climb over here. I did think at least some of the apes could swim, but apparently not. But the others do occupy the water fine, and they got these small houses that both work for houses for the others, but also climbing rigs for the apes. That wasn't on purpose, but they do climb on that a fair amount. I actually also like the fact that you can see there's a path going that way, and that way from here. So you have an idea that this zoo is so much bigger, even though from this angle you kind of feel like you're kind of in nowhere, if you ask me. I love when they use these. Honestly, I just love it. And it's just funny, but yeah. I put all of the normal enrichment over here, and then the food enrichments on the other side, and that's basically because I wanted them to want to go over here. I then had a little issue where they could get to the climbing things over here, Oh, I actually did make a climbing rake over here. They can get to the climbing things, but they couldn't get to the ground. So I had to work a little around that. And again, you can see the toys over here. We have a lot of them, both on the ground and up. And everything that can fall down, I always place up, because then it will just... They can use it up and then kick it down, and then they can use it down, and then it will automatically get back up. But these climbing rakes also sometimes do things where the apes don't think they can get down when they clearly could get up, which is really weird. Again, these types of rigs, they are not difficult at all to make. One can make them, I believe. But you need to want to build them. You can just like, oh, I have to, and then get it done quickly. You kind of need to want to take the time to work on it. And I do enjoy actually building them from scratch every time, but you can also, if you want one day, just build 3 or 4, make them as a what's it called, a blueprint, and then you can reuse them in multiple zoos. You can certainly do that. There's also the ones from Frontier you can already use, of course. Again, more choice over here. And yes, they can use this to climb up and down. Before we go any further, I just want to take a short look over here and just check that I didn't forget an animal. Why do you do that? Yeah, Bongo Nile, Lichway, and Red River Hog. Yeah. It's a long time since I built these. Here, I was very much aware that I would both have big animals and small animals, because some of these animals' babies are really, really tiny. And with most animals, the babies in a certain age are so much more shy than anything else. That's something I really wanted to work with. That's kind of why I wanted all of these small grasses in here, so they can certainly go in and hide if they want to. I'm not sure why this is placed up here and not down there. That would make so much more sense. But I wanted the animals to be able to get up here, get that food, and then go into hiding in here if they need to. Again, if they don't need to, that's fine. They can do what they want, but they need the opportunity to hide when they are up here. And then when they're back here, it's okay. It's a little more open because they are further away from the noise and the guest. Again, most of that in this area can be seen from up here. And we have a mountain up there. That's nice. They're beautiful. And for this habitat, I actually did check that there were, I think, 1 or 2 countries that this actually could be in the wild, where all of these 3 animals lived, but I do not remember which. But the issue were the bongo, because the bongo don't live a lot of places. Yes, I use my videos to tell you a lot about animals. The thing is, I do not always remember every single fact. I always sit with either notes or the information where I got it from, side by side when I record, to make sure that I get the information out there right. And sometimes I also choose to read for it directly, but I always mention when I do that, because some things I just feel like should be 100% fact and not just my interpretation of it. I'm not sure that's the right word. They're so cute, the small ones. I forgot how cute they are. Oh yeah. Now I already built my speed build for this Wednesday. It's gonna be in Future Life Canada, but I have plans for a new zoo, and it's gonna be cute. I have an idea. I have the inspiration, but it's gonna be very limited what we can do with it, because it's gonna be just a small zoo, like literally small animals in small habitats. Still like big enough for them, but only use the animals that have small habitats, so we can focus real much on details and try to forget these big giant habitats, to try to see what can I do with when I really limit what I can do, or how much space I have to do it, because I love these also habitats like this. We have this green area here, we have the dirt area there, and then we have like we of course have the lake here, but a more watery area up here with some a sandbank and something like that. So we have like multiple environments, multiple biomes in the same habitat, and I love that. But I want to try to see what can I do with if I'm not allowing myself to make the big ones. And especially in this zoo, as I said, the Asian small-clawed otter were the only small animal that we actually have here. Again, the lark gibbon and the saigon are not like big. The fusa is not the biggest either. But we do not have these like skunk, badger. I kind of want to do something with foxes. I miss my foxes. Foxes are weird in the way that I really love them. Oh, we have the Bonian orangutans over here. They're actually rarer to see climb, but I also think I have fewer of them in here. These flowers, I love the look of them. I hate working with them because they just don't click into things the way I want it to click. I think we're gonna stay on this side and then go back on the other side. Oh, little family, a baby. Here you can see I used the same house again. I think it actually were from this habitat over here. I built them first. But my idea when I did it was that everyone should have them, but then I already made the Fusa who didn't. But again, it would be cheaper for a zoo just to reuse things, especially like this, because they will look different in each habitat based on what is around them in here. It's very, very discreet, very hidden. Talking about hidden. We also have the caves. We have one over here. And the staff have a... barrier behind it where they can see what's it called, they can see the animals. Like there's just a fence between the staff and the animals, so they would be able to go in there that way. And the same over here somewhere we have hit it. Yeah, you can see this one ends up in it. So they are really discreet, and it's partially to give the animals their own space where they can be, but also for the staff to really like see them and make sure they're okay, and maybe they can train them over there because it's the net fence. So the staff can like make these like open your paw, show me your paw and you get a banana, something like that. Where down here where the staff actually goes in, it's more like just concrete and a door, so they can't see as much of up there. Again, the other cannot get up there in any way, but they have the small houses down here and they can get in to that one. But others are really, really curious and beautiful animals, and you can train them very, very easily. People don't think of this like training, but if you ever had chickens or a cat or a dog, every time you take their food, they will come. And that is a kind of training. And you can do that with the others. You have like a simple bucket. If you just teach them, if you knock on the bucket, that means they get food. Then they will come each time you knock on a bucket, and you don't have to go out and search for them unless someone got really hurt and for some reason can't get there. I'm not talking too much about that waterfall because it's actually not my favorite in here. As you can see here, the animals are able to hide under the bridge. Only the babies can get under on this side. That also allows them, if the male will hog or after them or something like that, they have this space where the adults can't get in, or they're too tall to. And then the adults can use this over here, and they can, of course, also swim in under here. So my nose is really been frustrating me all day. Here I use some enrichments again to entice them to actually use this part of the habitat. But as you can see, it's not their main place they want to be. Again, main building over there. It's the only big building. And here you can actually see in here if you really want to. I wish those would touch. But that's again minor things. I just have this thing where I really need things to be perfect, so that's also why sometimes I build 6 hours on a habitat. That's when it comes to it, and I cut everything that I didn't use out. It takes like 2 hours or so, because I just want this one thing to be perfect, especially with the climbing rake. I wanted it to be one big thing with the vines and the trees over here. Not the other one, but the big one where they can climb through everything. They can even climb for the twos, what they're called. The 2 caves they have from side to side. They can climb all the way either short via 2 trees, I think, or the long way around via all the trees if they want to. Oh, I love seeing them swim. I love that. That's cute. I also think it's the lady signer's favorite animal, the mongo. Either that or the common warhawk. She is so fun just to hear her talk every time she's building for these. She's just like, ah! And I love her. I really love her for that. I love when you can hear Planet Zoo builders really loving the things they build and the animals they build for. So over here, of course, ooh, we have the dingo or the doll. No, that's not either, I don't think. Oh, it's the dingo. I'm not sure if I actually have a remaster on them. Oh, I'm not sure. This far, we haven't used any modded animals, but I think I have a dingo remaster. I'm just checking. If there is one, then I have used it, but again, I'm not sure. Dingo. Yeah, Dingo remaster and new variants, and it's by Gaboy. It's just, I just really like to actually mention when I use other people's work, and that's also why all of the mod videos on my Patreons are there for free. No money necessary to see them. It's only my speed builds and other videos. I have a tier that's $1 a month, and that's it. That's all of it. So the dingo is, of course, also a kind of shy carnivore. So therefore, again, we wanted to give them a few places where they can hide, and their habitat is fairly deep, so they can get all the way back there. But then we put all of the fun stuff out here, so they hopefully want to play a little bit around up here. We did also one of those blood scent marker. I hit those in the flowers over here, so they want to get there. Besides the sniffing behavior they already have, and as you can see, we also have some balls. Ooh, we have one playing down here. Ooh, we had 2. Hey, little fella. They're really cute, and they're real beautiful. And this is one of the waterfalls I really like that I did. The only thing is that I would like to have like this foamy thing, but one that moves slower, because we can only go from these to nothing. So it would be nice to have that middle step. I also took over here, you can see it plays with something that's the rope on a stick. that I just placed inside of a tree because I figured out as long as the moving part is still visible, they will use it without clipping the tree because there should be a stick where the tree is. There's a few of the enrichment you can do that with. And then we have the chew toy, but they take it and bring it back in the background all the time because they rather be there. A lot of food enrichment because we of course have a lot of animals in here. Oh, he's playful. I really love them. It's one of the only places where we actually use fins. I haven't used fins in a lot of these habitats. Well, I did, but I did cover it up as much as possible. Where here I was like, oh, we need to close this off. We need to make sure that no one gets through here. Because we have a little fella over there where we're gonna come to it. I just... Whoa, that was aggressive. I just want to see them use this. This one you can actually also do with the trees covering this part, but you cannot cover this part because it's movable. They're beautiful. And all of those coloration, that's good boy. So beautiful. Anyway, on the other side, we have the southern cassowary going away from us. And in here, I really, really played with rocks in a different sense. This is not as a rock wall. We have the rock wall back here, of course. But in these smaller pieces, and I kind of want to save them because I really like how they turned out, and it took a long time to do. So I could just mark each of them as individual blueprint and they could be reused. But it's pretty much because the southern cassowary is kind of aggressive. And especially when we have babies in here, I want the babies to be able to run and not be caught in a corner. So everything they run behind, they should be able to run around. And also just the male and female in between can also just be aggressive. So it's kind of making... as many escape ropes as you possibly can. And that's what I did. The stream here is not the same as we had over there, but it is coming from this waterfall. The three first habitats had their own water area, and then all of the habitats over here actually have the same going on. Kind of, because we have multiple waterfalls, but they combine into the same stream. So the stream from this one we just looked at splits up here, so it continued this way over to the elephants and giraffe, and that way over to the, I think it's the hippos we have over there. And that was really, really both fun to do, but it was also a little difficult because when you remove the water, you kind of need to check that it's okay everywhere afterwards. So yeah. Oh, they're sleeping a little bit. And again, the smaller door in behind here is something that we have in all of these. And again, some of them it makes sense and some of them it doesn't, but here again it gives a escape for the animals. Over here we have a quite unique little tree kangaroo. And I'm not sure what exactly you're called. It is the Machis tree kangaroo. And it's beautiful and I love it. And it have a few weird things going on. But I think it's absolutely worth it. Here you can see it looks like it's the climbing animation it's stuck in or something like that. The tails going through the ground and such. But I don't really care because they're just so cute. I think they made on the koala mud and they used the food enrichments especially for the koalas, so they were something that I really need to figure out how to use. They do not need a big habitat, and that's also why you can see here in the back we have the wall fairly close compared to the actual wall back there. But just look at it, how cute it is. It's so cute. It's kind of lazy. Again, it eats a lot of eucalyptus, and every animal that does that is kind of high all the time. So they're not like animals that you need to be afraid will kill each other or anything like that. They're just animals where you need to be aware that maybe they fall down because they just simply forget to hang on. Here, I also tried to combine the climbing of everywhere, so they can certainly stay up there. And the modders have done a really good job with actually making them stay up in the trees, which again is good sometimes, but it's bad other times. Again, they will be more difficult to see up in the trees. Oh, we have one there. But personally, me and Zeus, I love this idea of having to actually look at things and work for it, and what's it called? Take a minute, breathe. Can you find it? Can you not find it? Me and my dad is normally good at finding them, and we kind of like want to find it before each other. My mom is just like standing and waiting for one of us to tell her where they are, because she really don't care to look for them. She wants to see them, she just don't want to look for them. Then she actually rather just look on her phone until we know where it is or something like that. And that's fair. That's fair. I do understand the issue, but I do not go to a zoo for like half an hour. I go to a zoo for the entire day, and I'm not busy. Beautiful animals. Oh, and here again, you can see here again the rock walls here. And because we had that shorter wall here in front of the other walls, we actually had the next habitat going in here. And that made it really difficult to figure out what I wanted here. So I went with hippos because I wanted the habitat to be big. Because if half the habitat was back here, then half the animals wouldn't be visible. Where because it's so big, then there's a bigger chance that they are out here. I also put all of the good stuff out here, but it did hide away the gate, for instance, back there. The common hippo, or the hippopotamus, I think it's called. Yeah, hippo. Oh, it's frustrating that we can see those. It's not perfect, the system. It's really orange, but it's better than some things. At least. I really like these hippos. Again, all of the rocks are custom and took a hell of a lot of time. The trees are pretty much the same in here. Again, we have this one and this one that are different, but all of these are the same. And I just reused them up here. I also... Ooh, what did I just do? I went through the fence. I also used the higher variation of them higher up, but I'm pretty sure it's the same tree. And then I just used this pink flowers. It was limited which flowers I could use, but pink flowers and these pinkish purplish trees to just bring in so much light. Because if we look at it right now, it's 13 o'clock, 13, 12. Now we get some sun in here, and it's 10 o'clock, so it's not that much. And then 9 o'clock is down, or it's dark. So we will never get a lot of light in here. Of course, they can lay out here in the sun, but just to bring in some kind of light in here, I want those lighter colors. If there's anything I would change, I would have added some of these here on the back wall, maybe in between the wood and the rock would have looked good, so it could kind of grow in between here. That would have could look good. And maybe they should have either a bigger house or two houses, because these are big fellows. They are really big, and these are the only reason that I didn't make the pygmy hippo in here, because I love it. But I think it would be weird in such a small zoo to have both hippos and pygmy hippos. just give you a view of the southern cassowary from this angle. I don't know why, but they really like this corner. I think I put something, yeah, down there you can see the herb scent marker. But that's the only thing over here. But I see them a lot just walking through the water up here and then turn around and walk again. You can see it does it now. So I don't know why it does it. It's kind of weird. Over here I have some enrichment, so it makes more sense. And a herb scent marker. Anyway, we're gonna go a little further over here, and we have waterfall number 3, I believe. I don't count this as a waterfall, but it does go down to the same water. So here you can actually see that waterfall 3 and waterfall 4 combines here, and then it either go that way or this way under here and combine in the southern cassowary. So now we have 2 streams going this way and this way from here on out. I had a hard time choosing the water because I kind of wanted it to be greenish and a little murky in this habitat because of the hippos. They will kind of dig up the underground under the water and make it a little more blah. And the same with the saltwater crocodile we will see later. But when that's said, this color is just beautiful, especially the coloration you get combined with the plants shining back through the water. I really like that. I wish I hadn't made it as deep because, as you can see, when they're down there, you can really not see them. So I also worked with making the water a little more see-through, but again, it will look weird in other habitats. So because I really wanted to have the same water all the way around, I kind of had to do it this way. But the hippos love it, and that's the important part. Oh, on this side we have again the giraffes, reticulated giraffes, and the savanna African savanna elephant or bush elephant. Yeah, I got a few males that were albino of the giraffe, and now I think half of them are. I just want to check. Yeah. It's just because I forgot to mention before the Maltese tree kangaroo, the cute little thing we looked at before. That is by Leaf and Nicholas Linewriter, and again I have a video up on it. If you want to see that, you are very welcome to do so. I wanted this to be very open and very with nothing. It looks kind of lazy, to be honest, but it did make sense for me because we have the really heavy elephants and the really heavy giraffes, and every time they step on something, they will smash it. The baby elephants will run around and just massacre everything we had growing in here. So I only wanted things that either were standing up of something, so it would at least get some peace and quiet on one side, or I wanted it to be like looking strong enough with a really firm tree trunk, so they could survive a elephant or a giraffe robbing themselves off of it. This one I choose to use exactly because it kind of looks like it worked wrong fine, and then a elephant or giraffe were robbing themselves off it and it split and it's not feeling so great anymore. This is also why we have a lot of the stones visible here compared to some of the other habitats, and this also makes a much better view from up there where you can again see most of the zoo. I really like having these viewpoints, and again I think this big building that is very recognizable will help guests have a feeling that if they lose their child in the zoo, they could just tell them, no matter where you are, you can see this building. So you go to that building, you go to the entrance in that building, and there's or the lobby, and there were I'm not sure I mentioned that, but there's a information stand. So you just go there. I always got lost in wherever I was, like Bilka, a shop, grocery shop, a big one here in Denmark. Every time my mom brought me there, I got lost, so I knew exactly how to go to the information, where to find it. If I couldn't find it, I asked someone who worked there, and then took me there. And then they would just call my mom over the radio. So no matter where we went, my father was just, oh, can you see the tall thing over there? When you get lost, you go towards that thing. And that could be like, if they have a real tall tree, a real tall building, like something, but it needs to be inside the zoo, of course. So this would be perfect for that. I'm not sure if anyone else knows about that. Things happens. Then we have the last habitat that we build in here. Not the last we're gonna see today, but the last one we build in here, and that's of course the bonobos. I kind of want to go for the. I knew I wanted an ape, so I wanted the gorillas, but the group are really small and they don't need a lot of space. And again, my habitats in here are really big, so that didn't seem logical to use them. So I looked at the chimpanzee, and then I thought I just built for them, and then I went for, have I ever built for the bonobos? And I think I only did that once. So I did choose that, and when I started reading about them afterwards, I really happy that I did, because we learned some things about the apes closest related to us. I think it was like 98% of their DNA that is the same as ours, which is really impressive. In here, of course, we also have some white ones, and these ones here, as I mentioned earlier, the staff can actually walk all the way up and down this, but it does count as climbing. There's also trees they can climb on, but they will get a lot of their climbing needs met on this one. I think it's twice the size of what they actually need, because all of the, I think I can actually show you. Yeah, you can see all of the individual parts count as climbing. So you get so much out of them. Of course, I don't want them to use these, and the underlying ones. So I did turn climbing off on those. But yeah, I just think it works really well, and also with the rope there, they use it a lot. And that's the best part, when you make something that you think is a little different, a little unique, like this rope, and they just use it. He's gonna use it. He's gonna use it. Aren't you? Yeah. And then he jump over there. Yes. And that's exactly how I wanted it to work. I actually made this one climbable to begin with, because I thought that it needed to be combined, but apparently they are able to skip over here, so I turned climbing off on that again. These ones are half usable. I think it's perfectly usable, but they need to be able to sit on the side, so they can use this one, but they cannot use this side. Up here they can use both, I think, but I needed to turn it to make sure they could. See, they have a little cave in there that's mostly just to hide the gate. They don't really use it. I think I saw one use it. But again, bonobos and I don't think there's any apes that are really shy. They're really interesting, and especially if some kids would drop a ice cream or something over here, the apes would love it. Yes, we have the piano, you know, guys. I hate the piano. I hate it so much. Here you can see they also use the trees. I did think about actually turning off climbing in those, because they don't need it. But then again, it doesn't really hurt anything, and it's not like we don't have anyone we can look at the same time because we have so many in here. Again, numbers are a big help when you make these giant habitats. So yeah, this is just the elephants and the giraffes once again. And here the staff is actually also only able to go on this piece because again they cannot get over here. And on the other side there's also water, so they can only get there. So all of the food enrichment here, and then some toy, one toy here. And then I think we have a herbs and more somewhere down there, and then the rest of the enrichments over here to make them want to go all the way around. Anyway, here we actually have a double deer, and I love this because I want this the Bengal tiger. The Bengal tiger is also a mod. Bengal tiger remaster, new variants by Havoc and Gaboy. I really wanted it, but it didn't work here because these are made of wood all the way down. All the way down. And the tigers can, funny enough, climb wood. Even though I can turn climbing off, it just didn't seem plausible that they wouldn't climb it. Of course they would. And they can jump like 3 meters or something like that. So I needed to think about it. Then I wanted to make kind of like the same gap that I have with the Fusa, but then they can swim, so that wouldn't work. So instead I actually placed them far enough back so they can not jump over here, of course, but also high enough so they won't jump down. And I did actually think about making a small fence here, maybe just 1 meter, because it would make it more difficult for them to jump downwards if they had also to jump upwards. But I didn't. And I have been going forwards and backwards on that a lot because it's prettier without, but it's more plausible with. I used all of the purpley plants here as to highlight the different places. Here you can actually see he's over a little lamb. I placed them multiple places around their habitat, especially inside their caves. So you kind of have this highlighted belly on them once in a while to make it easier to be seen, especially the dark one. Then we will put light on the belly that is still white. I know I have too many in here, but it's because I wanted to showcase all of the colorations. There's more colorations, trust me, but they're just beautiful. They have 2 caves, one of each side, and then they have kind of a road in between mountains. I'm not sure what they're called. Where we have the gate. Again, rocks all the way up, and they're just beautiful. They're really all beautiful. Down here we have the saltwater crocodile, and the saltwater crocodile is also modded. Saltwater crocodile remaster and new variants by Gaboy, Milky Gaming Rex, Buffsu, and Norrailer. And it's really good. And it's also have, again, new variants. So we have new colorations. I think this is the female. I think the male is one of the new variants. It's down here. I'm not completely sure, but I think so. It's kind of have this lighter coloration to it. Now it's diving. The water depth over here is really, really good if you ask me, because it's deep enough so they can dive. But you have a feeling like you can see they kind of disappear because they go too deep, and then they get back up right away where you can see them, which is a really, really nice touch. You can see he's almost disappearing again. If he's not, no, he's going upward, I think. We have this little sand patch over here with the mud bath integrated, and blood scent marker over here. I think that's it. And then a lot of plants. I want both to use these and these to make the idea that this over here is much more lush and tropical. And then we have this drier path over here. Especially if this was salt water, it would not be simply because salt water is more difficult to hold, and a lot of the animals we have around here would not enjoy it if it was salt water, especially because they do not have anything to drink if they're not allowed to do this. I think the Fusa, no, the Fusa have water. Yeah, so the Bengal tiger is the only one that have like a water thing and not just the lake. So we wouldn't want salt water. This path go all the way down to the cave, which they do use, but again, because they make so many babies, there will always be something to watch up here. And they do like to stay around the water most of the time. And it just looks funny with that combination of habitat, I must say. But maybe the tigers should be a little higher, or the salt water a little lower. I think you can manage to put them even lower because, what's it called? Wait. This is the babies and they're not so small, so you could have lowered it a meter, but then you would have issue with the water from the other habitats. I think we're gonna move on to the last things we're gonna look at, and that is the giraffe and the elephants. What a second. And you can see here the water comes out here, under here, from over there. So we have the one stream of water ending here, splitting into two, one going out here and that way out, and one going in here and combined with this. That's then going around here and combined with this and goes out. So all of the water can go out somewhere. I don't think I managed to do that with the other stream, but here I did manage to give it a more logical way that it would continue into some big lake somewhere. It is important that this is kind of shallow so the giraffe can walk over it because they're not swimmers. This is really made for the elephants. It's a little bigger than it should be. I think I would have, had I thought about it more, I would have taken some space from over here. So still have the same length, but just in here. So maybe you could see the elephants when they get down, because at this point they do it directly under here. Make it small that way so it got buffed out a little bit. You could have done that. But again, I when I build things, I do not really have a good way of having an idea of size. Especially that's also why I always put the animals in as soon as I can, because I need to have an idea of size. You can see every time I use straw or leave these sleeping beds things, I always need to compare it to the size of the animal to make sure I pick the size I want, unless I for some reason just take the biggest one. You see here, they do not swim, they walk over, so it's really important that it's shallow. But the baby giraffes can also do that. They have a little piece of pride under here, of course, not a lot, but a little. And then we have the hut over here. This hut is double the diameter, double diagonally. I just cut off a giraffe's head, but double the sides diagonally than the other huts, and that's also why I thought that I could have used this variation with the hippos instead. It still is a 8-sided. No. I'm not sure how big, but it's big. It's bigger. We have a little elephant down here. Out here, you can actually, I'm not sure where there, and there you can see the path when the guest comes and goes, but I think it's still secluded enough that you don't really feel that you are a part of the outside world. I would wish that I maybe had covered this a little better and maybe down here a little better, but that's, I think smaller details. The baby elephant. Yeah, go swimming, little fellow. Go swimming. And from here you can also see the tigers, but only like this area. The giraffe can clearly stick their head up and see both of them. But I don't think it's gonna be an issue when they get used to them being there. I think it's maybe first time they spot them because giraffes are very reactionary. And if they feel threatened, they will run really fast. But I think they will get used to them being there real fast. Down here we have a little food, what's it called? The keeper hut. I did think about building something myself, but I don't think it matters that I just took this. Again, it would be a backstage area. And I did also think about covering it more, but I did want the guests to be able to have a good view from up here. And from here we can again see waterfall number 3 and 4. I think a little over here we can also see waterfall 2, but yeah, there. So it all kind of fits together, which I really do like. Just everything working together. And again, here it also makes sense that we don't have too much foliage down here because it would completely cover this. And also when we go over here, it's really opened and you can just see everything. Like everything the sunlight touches, Samba. I'm not sure that's how they say it in English. I think I only saw it in Danish. Most Disney film I always watch in English, but I think it's one of those I only saw in Danish. So here we have a path down, so you actually get a little closer to the animals, but again, they swim here, so you're not really close, you're just kind of closer. And here you can see where their little piece area are. This area is not made specifically that we really want guests to use it, but they just have the opportunity to. And here you can also get kind of close, and this is... No, this is not where the guests, the keepers get in. They get in through the rock wall. In here we have the gift shop, which we will come back to. No, we're gonna take this way. So in here we have mods, and we have some that I know I use. For instance, these are from the gift shop prop pack by Nicholas Linewriter, which I really... That looks like my avatar. Anyway, all of these are, and then I also downloaded, like, from Nexus, you can download these pictures I put on. I do not remember who made them, sorry. Plushies here also from Nicholas Linewriter, of course. Same with the toys. Some of these may be from... what just happened? Oh, damn. Some of these may be from the Planet Zoo itself, but some of them may be from... Oh, what did I just do? Interesting. Some of them may be from Mud, but I'm not sure. Here, I think everything is from the game. I think some of these animals down here is from the exhibit prop pack, which I think is Nicholas Linewriter. That's not the one I wanted. It's because there's both a exhibit prop pack and a exhibit animal pack, and this is of course from the animal, and they are also by Nicholas Linewriter. the prop packs or the items inside of the props. So here I use them. They are intended to use as animals, but as you can see here, small figurines, toys for the kids, or just things you would like to have in your home. They work fine for that, and some of the spiders especially are really good, and they give me the EVs every time. And again, combined with some of the items from the game. I think we're gonna go this way. Yeah. From here, we have this little sitting area, and I just wanted it to look like something where you would actually feel cozy. That's also why I've used these big things. I didn't use them necessarily at light, but it's just like if you sit here, you do not feel too close for the people sitting there. Then we, of course, have a toilet. Every good zoo should have a toilet. I'm pretty sure that it's the only toilet I have. And here we, of course, have the brown-throated three-toed sloth. And yes, it is a exhibit, and we can't get in there. I just want to show. Because, again, even though you have these walk-in exhibits, this is the information where I told you I would tell my kids to meet me if they got lost. Oh, don't think I showed you this one. It's made up of multiple pieces, and then some of them colored purple and some of them are not. But again, some people will not like going in here, or some parent will just be very much aware that their kids should not get in there because they would either yell or something to terrify the sloth. He's so cute. And we don't want that, so therefore it just makes sense that you can just say, hey kid, you can't control yourself, so we're just gonna look from out here. I do regret though that I didn't put up glass instead, both because they will make a smell that's now getting out here, but also that it doesn't help that the kid can be here instead of there in case they yell of the animal. That doesn't work. Then glass would have been more soundproof. And then we're back in the gift shop, and we're just gonna go in here. Again, these exhibits are not that interesting on their own, but you can really make them your own. And I just start by adding everything that the exhibit box have, and then I work around that. For instance, they only kind of hang like this from this. They really don't do anything down here. So all of this space in here is pretty much free real estate. Then the only thing is, if you want, like me, I want windows here, then you kind of have to make sure that you have places where the guests can actually see through. Also here you can see the guests can look in here, so I need to not put something up there that's really big and tall. You will also have to be aware of the fact if you build in the height. Now I chose to not do that, but had I been like in an even bigger building, then maybe I would have placed a tree or something. Maybe I have put up some vines to combine this. Again, they will not use it, but it looks more if it full and more real if it is. This, in case you don't know, is a scent gland, so they can put their scent on things, like mark their territory, like most animals does. I really like that one. Yeah, here you can see I actually did clip a little bit. It's not an issue up here because it could like go under here and then behind there. But this one kind of is an issue, and that one and that one. But again, it is a lot of things to make sure fits together. And I also needed to make sure, of course, that they wouldn't go through the wall out here. these are not the education pieces. These are the TV screens. Then I just made it like commercial for the restaurant upstairs, so people go up there, and then I just changed the photo to match this photo instead, so it looks like it's education for those instead. Then we have the path up here. I kind of wanted a staircase, but I am aware that we have a staircase outside, and that would make it impossible for all kinds of handicaps, walking handicaps, to get in here. I'm not sure what just happened. I'm really not sure what just happened. Huh? Okay, I'm just gonna cheat a little bit. Okay, that didn't help at all. There. Oh, it's this thingy again. Okay. We cannot do that. It's because when you have... I'm just gonna show you. A floor under a path, then sometimes the game have issue figuring out if you should walk on this or this. And it's weird because this is not pathing at all, but sometimes a game have a few issues with that, so that's just something we need to walk around. I'm not sure why they're stuck here. That happens sometimes. So here we of course have the restaurant piece. Out here I just wanted, again, both a little piece of quiet, but also here you can get your money without actually feeling like you're in the middle of path or in the middle of where everyone stands, and you don't feel like anyone watching over your shoulder. Again, I know I have anxiety, but these are things that matters to me a lot. So I want people to feel safe and feel secure and don't feel like people are too close when they handle their really, really vulnerable information like you do with a machine like this. So yeah, here you can of course look down if you want to. This is just about a meter. I'm not sure because it's kind of a piece from further down. We have a tree clipping a little bit through there. Yeah, you can see a little bit of the forest out there. You can see, again, as I mentioned much earlier in this live stream, I'm actually kind of impressed about this. Like, I think my last live stream like this with the Final Zoo tour were like 4 hours or something like that. So this is really fast. It's also much smaller zoo, but that's why I've been trying to get through it, because I do want this to be short and sweet and not to something that will take real long time, because I don't want people to skip the video because of that. Again, Asian water monitor, Fusa, Apeland with Simon, Loggerman, Bonnie and Orangutan, and then Small Clawed Otter, Bunko, Nile Ledre, and Red River Hawk that we can see over here. And again, you can see the animal from up here, but it really won't be a stress factor for the animals at all that you're here. Again, you are really far away, but you get a really good view. But if you want a really good picture, you will need kind of a good camera to do that. In here, again, we have the restaurant. So we have like the diner variation in here. I kind of like to combine these tables. I would like if some modders wanted to give us more variations of tables for the restaurant. That would be great. Hint, hint. But I do understand that the modders are working really hard on a lot of things. Then here we have a few windows where you can see staff paths and things like that. But that's really what you get in zoos, to be honest. So out here I have the other tables. I just wish that we had all of the tables for both. Like, they could just make it a toggle. Now it's a restaurant table, now it's a noble table. If they just did that, it would be perfect. So here we have again the elephants and the giraffes. And from over here, you can get again a good view. Not the greatest view, you will have a better view from out here, of course. But just to get a good idea that this is a big place, there's a lot to see. And you can see here, Dinah is a little raised, so you have, I think you would feel like you have a little more privacy setting in there or down here than you would have if they were leveled. Because it is kind of close. Especially in zoos where you come with your kids and they will run a little bit around the table and such. From over here, again, great view if you ask me. I really like it. Oh, I didn't mention, but here, there's a real wide staircase. And I wanted this to just be welcome to the jungle feeling when you get up here. Again, you can start your tour here, you can end your tour here. And this was down to the gift shop. Again, you can go both ways around. And you can make sure not to go through the gift shop if you are that kind of parent. But then again, do you even love your kids? I don't know why I talk all the time about bringing kids because I don't have any. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Yeah, you can see the trees are really, really close together. And I do believe, even though you can't see a lot, it still give like the feeling that you are in the jungle, you are in the tropical areas. And this is again just into the Dinah area. So yeah, this is what we have. Here you can see the path out. That's not a lot to see though. So I think we're gonna jump down here and make our exits. I will just mention now is the time if you have anything you want to ask about before we end this completely. Again, out here, I wish I'd done a little more on this side, more like I did over here. But the thing is, I had built this part of the zoo when I made this, so I knew how much space I have. I didn't want to build things here if I had to remove it afterwards, so that's pretty much that. But I wish I had gone in a little bit, or maybe let the stream run in a little here, or something like that. But it isn't like too weird that there will be a part that's more open than other parts. That's pretty much how it is. Oh, I didn't I forgot these. It is the tomato plant, but for me it looks kind of like these. Oh, what is there? I think they are plants, but they have these kind of flowers on them that looks like Chinese lanterns or something like that. They are really like, they have, if you squeeze them, they are just feel like paper filled with air. Like you can just, I don't know if anyone have that idea, but that's what I think it is in this zoo. Also because I think tomatoes, it's a great idea for the conservation pack, but for most things like building habitats, like the animals would eat them and they will be gone and they wouldn't be there anymore. So it doesn't make sense for me building wise, but like thematically it does make sense. So, and then we just have the beautiful mountains here in the background. And again, I'm aware this is a long way to walk, but that's what it is. It doesn't seem like any of you have any questions. So yeah, I'm just gonna turn around here, I think. And that was it. That was Tzula Zoo. And it's really stupid. It's really stupid because I know it's just a game. It's just a game. And what's even more stupid is I know it's partly because I'm extra sensitive these days. I have mental issues, and my cat came in with half his face scratched off the other night. So I have been really, really sensitive around him, and I'm just sensitive these days, so that's part of it. But I really love this zoo. I really do. Normally, I don't care when I'm done, and I'm just focusing on what's next. But it was a really good zoo. It really was. And I loved all of the weird animals. I love all of the cute animals. I love all of the awful animals. I'm not sure if there were any awful animals, but you know what I mean. I just love them. And it's some of the most fun I have had building for a long time. And again, I love building in this game. I'm not done with it at all. But this suit just so colorful and so green, so yeah, I really want to revisit some of these habitats in a, not like building the same habitat, but like kind of reinvent some of them in new ways, which we may be gonna see at a later point. Not right now. We have a lot going on right now with the new zoo, maybe starting next week, maybe the weeks after that. And then we have Future Life Canada, where we actually don't talk a lot about the animal, but more like about the conservation around the animal. But yeah, we have a lot to do. So again, if you want to see all of this, you just have to subscribe, maybe ring the bell if you want to. If you don't ring the bell, I do understand, because I have a lot of videos. I make live streams. I don't make a lot of live streams on this channel. I make videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 4 mud videos a week and 2 speed builds most week, unless something goes wrong, of course. So yeah, if you want to join me on my journey here, feel free to do so. And yeah, if you watch this later, guys, and make it this far, well, one thing is ring the bell. Like the video. I would really like a like. But comment below, what was your favorite habitat? What was your thing, not habitat wise, but what were the thing I built that you were most inspired by? And what was the thing in all of these speed builds, the fact you learned about an animal that really stuck with you in some way, either because you never heard it before, or because it was weird, or because of something? I would really like to know, and comment section below. Again, I do look in at least once a day on my comment section, just to make sure that I really actually want to answer you if you comment something. Some of you ask, some of you put a smiley, and I love it all. So yeah, please do. The comment section is there for not only me, but also you, but like for us, our communication. And yeah, I think this is where we're gonna end it today, guys. Just gonna go over here so I can use this screen for something else, so I can see what I'm actually doing. We actually have a lot of people watching compared to what I sometimes have on my second channel. Again, I have a Patreon. If you want to meet me over there, it's, again, all of my mod videos are free. You don't need to pay for them, but you can use to search for them. So for instance, they are tagged. So if you want to build seed mod for some big cat, but you don't know which, then you just hashtag big cat, and all of the big cats will come up. Hashtag small cat, all of the small cats. Carnivore, all of the carnivores. Bears, all of the bears. But you can also use like genus, for instance, on bears. Most bears are called ursus as a genus. You can hashtag that, and then you will get all animals with that genus, which is not all of the bears, but some of them, so you can see what is closely related. You can also just search by name if you want to. I just feel like that's way of searching. It's much more useful than what you have on YouTube. If you want to support, I have one tier called baby sheep. I'm not gonna add more tiers before I see people actually using that tier. So it's called baby sheep, and it's a picture I took myself when I volunteered a long time ago. But it's very cute. But that tier is $1 a month and nothing more than that. You don't need to support me with millions or millions to see my things. But if you want to support my journey and all of this, you can certainly do it over there, and it would mean the world to me. Anything else? Yeah. We actually, everything that's left to say, guys, is you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again, either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys.